Let me know. Don't, 'cause I'm having a good time, I am a fucking idiot. This is time 3 that I'm trying my podcast. I don't know why I forgot how to record one. Maybe it's 'cause I've got my fancy microphone and my super, super cool earphones or headphones. Okay, hopefully that worked. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the fucking ridiculous podcast. And in true fucking ridiculous fashion, it is now 9:08 Eastern Standard Time on a Wednesday evening, and I have been attempting to record my podcast for the past 2.5 to 3 hours. I have recorded it 3 times and done it wrong. I don't know how I can be such a fucking moron sometimes, but I can. And these things are about to slide off, so 1 second, hold on. Now I got hair standing up everywhere. I mean, literally, it's a good thing I'm married. It's a good thing that I'm married. It's a good thing. Jesus. Good thing I'm married. I believe this is on. I believe I can start talking again into my new microphone that I really, really, really hope is working. So, because I'm pretty much going to go hoarse soon. You haven't missed anything. I'm hoping that this will be the last time, best time. Okay, so welcome to episode 37 of the fucking Ridiculous podcast, being filmed at 9:15 Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, March 30th. I am doing this in another room at night with a new microphone and some headphones on to look extremely professional, polished, and sound totally legit. My stand for the mic, of course, didn't come in. One can only come in now, and then one comes in later. And so, anyway, now I have to hold it like I'm doing karaoke, which I'm not, but I feel like I could be. So, and by the way, we are going to get into some of my go-to karaoke songs. You may borrow them, but you will never be as good as I am at them, because the amount of showmanship and practice that I do in the mirror on my own is, I'm not going to say professional level, but it's pretty close. Okay, shout-outs. My dear friend Megan, my roommate from college, she is turning an age tomorrow, and so I want to wish her a happy birthday, tell her I love her, and I can't wait to see her later in the year. Number 2, the Virginia Tech Hokie women's basketball team. You are in the Final Four. This is the first time, I don't think we've ever gone this far. You have made the school so proud. You guys should feel so proud. Your families, I'm sure, are overjoyed. You guys are playing Friday night, and I will be on my covered porch with a beer watching Good Luck Lady Hokies. Y'all can do it. What I'm loving this week, it's not actually a tangible item. It's a game. It's a game, and my senior high schooler son is playing it. And I am loving this game for a few reasons. One, because it is bringing me a lot of giggles, because the game is called, I don't love the name, it's called Assassin. And I will agree, the timing of this game is quite unfortunate, but they are using water guns. As we all know, I can't stand the word squirt, so water guns. So they have a mark, or he has a mark, and then someone has him as a mark. And so the object of the game would be, obviously, to get your mark before you are marked and gotten by your person. There are some rules to the game, and some of the rules are totally, like, that's all about, like, where you can do it and where you can't and what's out of bounds and who can see what and blah, blah, blah. But the few most important rules are, number 1, if you are in your home or, like, naked, or if you're in your underwear, you cannot be taken out. And so my son has now taken it to a new level of just basically streaking in the neighborhood. Like, he walks out to his car every morning in his underwear and his shoes and socks, and his backpack's on him, and he has his clothes in his hand. And I am having the best time photographing him from all different angles to threaten to post on social media, because it is absolutely fucking ridiculous and hilarious. And in a weird way, I'm super proud, because me having no dignity, clearly I have shared that with at least one person in my family. So now he's like, well, whatever, doesn't matter to me. I want the money. So far, he's doing okay. But the second reason I'm happy about this is because they all seem to be really enjoying it and getting into it. And it's super fun, coming off of kind of a stressful senior year where you're in all these hard classes and you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. And it's just stressful. And so that's a layer of fun. The third and most important reason I'm enjoying this and loving this is that this game has allowed my son to prove to me that he can wake himself up in the morning, in the wee hours, get himself out of bed, shower, and get out the door all alone. And that's huge because right now he does not seem to be able to do anything without hand holding and a lot of assistance. Now, that is not to say that every morning this week he has not forgotten something and needed someone to bring it to him. Sometimes that happened, sometimes it didn't. What I'm loving this week? Assassin. Might be hating it next week, but this week I'm loving it. In the news, moving on. A lot of stuff going on that's just not actually fun or funny, frankly, but I can make light of some fucking ridiculous things. Number one, the hearings for the TikTok representative, and that was something, guys. That was something. I understand that our senators are not investigative journalists, but if you are going to make this big of a deal of something, you best come prepared. And I listened to some of those questions and I was just horrified. That whole thing was a fucking joke. It was a gong show start to finish. I think the star of the room was the person representing TikTok, who was from Singapore, not from China. And when he corrected the woman politely on that, she blew him off. And I thought that could not have been more disrespectful. That's just me. That whole thing was just, I actually would love to just play it as a drinking game. And for every different person that asked a question that, who had the stupidest one? Maybe we could all be those people. And that's definitely a game in the works. I can feel it. The banking industry. Jesus, Joseph and Mary. What in God's name? Can anyone just say the truth anymore? It's impossible. And I kind of feel like it's one of these WWE scripted movie type things where it's okay, this time you're going to take the fall. And now we're going to be the heavyweight champs and we're going to come in and we're going to wear the belt for a little bit. But then you guys are going to underdog it back up. And then we're going to get hit in the head, behind the head with a chair. And then we're going to go down. And then these guys are going to take the belt for a little bit. And then they're going to be, yeah. And then we'll let the government in too. And they can raise the cup. To quote Kara Swisher, I was listening to a podcast with her today, and she's pretty much an expert in the tech and business field. And, she certainly doesn't mince words. And she's like, artificial intelligence does have its limitations, but stupidity is infinite. And that just kind of sums up everything that I feel like is happening in the news right now. Between all of the banking stuff and the fact that the real estate market in the metaverse is now falling. I know that comes as a shock to you guys. I'm so sorry. But, as interest rates are climbing and apparently people want to live on the East Coast and not the West Coast, they don't want to actually spend their money on an imaginary house in an imaginary place using their imaginary money to buy it. So, I don't even know where to go with that one. Then we have the Nashville situation, which there's nothing funny about this. I will say it is absolutely fucking ridiculous that a person can walk into 5 different stores and buy 7 weapons and kill 6 people in less than 48 hours. How is that not flagged? I feel like I can't go to South Carolina and use an ATM without my bank card being confiscated and then be like, I feel like we have some fraud going on. And this person can go to 5 different stores? What? I don't understand it. It is heartbreaking. It is frightening. It's time for something to change. And I realize that change can't happen quickly, but something needs to be done because this is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Something else that is absolutely fucking ridiculous is I was listening to a different podcast, and they have like a call-in show, and people will call in and ask about, work, money, that kind of stuff. And the question was, how do I jump back into the job market, the working world, after taking time off to raise children? And the answer was so ludicrous yet true that I just actually sat there like almost wanting to cry because the person said, basically, as we've tried to make strides to close the gender wage gap, once you have a child, you will immediately make less money and you will come back making 70 cents to the dollar. It doesn't matter how much more experience you have with all of these different types of situations and events and crises that you've managed while you've taken your time off, you will get paid less because you decided to procreate. And that, my friends, is fucking ridiculous. I am horrified, but it's okay. I will make lemonade out of lemons, or whatever they say for that. Sam Bankman-Fried, whatever, he was able to get himself some more charges against him. He now has been accused of bribing Chinese officials with $40 million of fake money that allegedly, I'm sure it wasn't his, so it was someone's. Maybe he'll go to that UK jail that's got the guards that like to have sex with the inmates who have their own rooms and their cell phones. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like this entire episode right now, I mean, is this really our world we live in? I guess so. Several episodes ago, I talked about trad wives, and those were like the traditional wives. They were like doing the throwback to like the 1950s where, while the husband works and they live to basically like clean and cook and serve their husbands. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If that is the life that you want to lead, then and you're happy, go for it. But this particular story was about this trad wife who was, while she was like busy cleaning and cooking meals for her husband, he was having sex with other women, like in the house, while she was doing all of that stuff. And that, to me, is fucking ridiculous. To many other people might be like their utopia or their idea of like heaven, but that is not mine. Mostly because there aren't many things in what she was doing that I particularly enjoy anyway. So I just thought, I just can't help but laugh. And after being written up in this story, her comment was, "Love, don't judge." And she's right. She's right. If you're happy, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you and your trad wife life. Oh my goodness. Okay. So a couple of things happened this week that were stupid. The first one was I pulled into a parking lot and I parked kind of close to where the carts are. And I strategically do that because I don't always have to want to, walk my cart. And I don't care how far it is away from the front door. I'd rather just be rid of the cart. I don't mind walking. So anyway, I parked too close and I opened my door and there was not a lot of room, very tiny amount of room. And, I apparently think that I always look better than I do and I'm smaller than I am. And so I thought to myself, well, this is like the grocery bag situation. If there are 5 bags, I'm going in one time. I'm only going in one time. I'm making one trip. So I was like, well, hell, I'm just going to get out of here. No problem. I'm sucking in and I'm squeezing my butt together. And I was like, I'm going to get out. I'm going to get out. I did not get out. And I almost impaled myself with the middle of my car door. And it was so fucking dumb. And then I, of course, have to get back in my car. And then I go up to the next parking area and I don't even think to look around, but I'm like, what a fucking idiot. Because who was I trying to prove anything to? Me. It's like, no, I can definitely get myself out of this situation. There was a better way. Karaoke songs. If I'm doing a duet, now it's important that your partner knows the words, because it's no fun to do a duet when the person you're doing it with just like fucks it. So either you need to do a duet with someone where maybe they're just like a backup singer, or they can go in. They can go all in. So my go-to used to be Stop Dragging My Heart Around, for obvious reasons. I've got kind of this gravelly voice. I can play both parts if I need to. There's another duet that I love, and unfortunately, I can't stand one of the people who is part of one of the guys in the duet, but the other guy's awesome. So it's that song Easy Lover, and it's by Philip Bailey from Earth, Wind & Fire, and then Phil Collins. And as much as I want to be Philip Bailey, my voice is so freaking deep. I can't hit any of the notes, so I have to like sing him low. But that is also a crowd pleaser. If you really are going to go in. Now I'm going to give you one of my top solo songs, though, is this one. And I've worked on this a lot in the mirror at home. And so I'm pretty proud of the performance. If you ever get a chance to karaoke with me, maybe I will show you live. But it is that song, Don't Stop Me Now, 'cause I'm having a good time, by Queen. I know I sound just like Freddie Mercury. I know it. And my moves are just as good, don't worry. Karaoke's a good haul. Succession is back. Season 4. I am beyond excited. I have not been able to actually watch the show yet because I just haven't had time to really dial in. I love this show. Is beautifully written. There's so many just nuanced, tiny little jokes that you never want to miss. So I will report back next week on what I'm thinking about it and how I'm feeling about it. But I'm excited, and I hope it doesn't let me down. And finally, I did this, I was reading this study on American values and how over the past 20 years, literally every value, education, family, religion, work ethic, you name it, they've all plummeted. They're all going down except for one. And the one that is on the rise is money. Money. Everybody wants money. And we need it to live. It's great to have. When you have too much, you become ridiculous. But somewhere, there's just got to be a happy medium. Because my son went to rent a tux for prom. And he is going to his own, and he is going to his girlfriend's. And so they're on 2 separate Saturdays, but they are consecutive. So I was like, ask them if you can just rent it this Saturday and then keep it one extra day so we only have to rent it one time. And he's like, no, I don't think they're going to let me do that. So he says it's $230 to rent the tux. And I'm like, for both weeks? And he's like, no, just for one. And I'm like, so it's $230 times 2. Is that what you're telling me? He's like, yes. I said, well, oh my God, how much is it to buy a tux? And he asked the guy, and the guy says, $800. $800 for a tux to wear 2 times for an 18-year-old boy who is still growing? Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, am I buying it for the entire grade? What in the fuck? Who can afford this? I mean, now I understand why people want to wear their pajamas everywhere they go. You can't afford anything. Jesus. Fucking ridiculous. Ugh. Anyway, I digress. Money, it just can make everyone crazy, and I feel like it is making everyone crazier and crazier right now. And my friend Eileen and I were talking today, and she was like, I feel like we're normalizing the crazy a little too much, and we need to like scale back, which leads me to, if you are considering going into banking, please don't. I feel confident that we have plenty of bankers here in the United States that those jobs are going to be filled for a while. Regulator, on the other hand, or enforcer, or fucking badass bitch, those jobs are open and they are available to anyone who has the willingness to call people out on their bullshit, not be bribed, and demand to see what the truth is or factual information. So we need some enforcers, because last week we talked about how everyone's off the rails. Everyone's off the rails and nobody is enforcing anything. And I'm including myself in this right now. My kid's walking around in his underwear. I mean, but let's think about enforcers, or if you have a better name for this other than enforcer or regulator or fucking badass, you let me know, because we need them, and we need them pretty damn quick. And back to that thing about values. I am teeing this up because in April, I'm going to have a guest. A friend of mine is a preacher, and the title of this episode will be anything and everything you wanted to ask a preacher, but you never did. And so if you have questions, send them in. You can DM me, you can TikTok me, you can email me, and if you have my cell number, you can text me. I'm not big on the phone calls, but send them in and we will solve all of the world's problems when it comes to that area of learning. And in the meantime, I do want to apologize in advance by saying I've figured out my aversion to social media. Social media to me is like shopping, where I can't do it every day. I definitely can't do it every day. And when I do it, I'm like, okay, I'm gearing up. I'm going to go into the store and I'm going to get it done. And so I do that, and then I'm out. But on a rare day where maybe I feel like going to 2 or 3 stores, I do it, but every store I go to. So it's like I hit the Insta and I'm like, I'm rolling. Okay, all right, I'm out. And then I'll go to, let's say, a TikTok, and I'll be like, ooh, it's kind of crowded in here. All right, my patience running low, so I'm going to skim through this. And then after I leave the second store, once I get to the third store, I'm like, I might walk in and I might just take a look around and be like, fuck this, and walk right back out because I just can't take it. That is the metaphor for social media in my mind. It's so overwhelming to me. That being said, I want to know what you have to say, and I want to hear you. So don't let that story stop you from commenting or sending a question for my preacher friend, okay? In the meantime, just remember, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And don't stop me now. Go look up that song. You'll love it. All right, I'll see you next week.